Okay, so I have a couple of questions. The first one is regarding keys and modulations. Peter, do you ever see keys with five sharps, six flats, seven flats, seven sharps? Is this a common thing? Should students and teachers focus on a certain number of keys, or do you think it's a good idea to do a cadence in, oh my goodness, 24 keys, 30 keys, and harmonic keys? What do you say about key practice? And I noticed that, for instance, in Martini, he would give the same short partimento but in different keys. And is that to train just being good in different keys?
Yeah, very good question. It's a difficult one because if you start with too high an ambition, if you say, okay, you need to do everything in all the keys, it can be very tiring for students. I mean, just to learn the rule of the octave in all keys, is that really necessary? Or all the cadences like in C sharp minor and D sharp major, you know, all that kind of crazy, I mean, keys that are not used so very often. Um, I tend to follow the manuscripts. So if you see how Durante behaves with this, he uses all the white keys. Yeah, so there is some ambition to learn to play in the most important keys, but he doesn't do all the keys. So it's not like vol temperite clavier. You have to do all
Hmm.
24 keys in minor and major, but rather so C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B minor. That's enough in the beginning. That's enough.
You know,
That,
Peter, I asked this to, I think it was, I think, whoa, it was Nicola Canzano, and it was just, I
yeah,
think also, isn't it true that, the harp, the way the harpsichord is tuned and everything, it's, if you go too far out, it's just going to ruin everything, right?
yeah. I agree with that. And the further you get in time, so in chronology, if you look at what Mattei does, he uses all keys. He
Mhm.
goes through all of them. But that is then the 18, no, that is maybe 17, almost 1790,
Mm.
right? So that's 40 years later. And things have happened there with the tuning systems and so on. So it becomes more, I
Equal.
mean, yeah. So
Okay.
it, it it's expected of a method to use all the keys in the very late 18th century.
Yeah, I understand what you were saying about fatigue. It's can be too much, and also when you're doing that, you don't you wouldn't it be better to learn like 10 things in one key
Yeah,
and or at least three or four keys than
yeah, so,
just you're just doing one thing in 24 keys.
yeah,
You're gonna go first of all, you're gonna go crazy. That's the first thing because it's the same thing, and then it's a lot of work. I mean, not to say that you should never eventually get them all done, but for a student, I think
yeah,
you're saying it's more practical to just get a few more variations in first.
yeah, and the variations are much more important than the number of keys. Yeah, so learning the patterns and becoming a little bit free. So you have not one pattern. So it would be worse to like play a C major cadence in block chords and then do it in all keys. Then that's not what's intended.
Oh,
You really
that's
should do
fatiguing.
it should really be counterpoint and learning all these contrapuntal variations. That's what's at stake.
Yeah.
So that's far more important than learning all the keys.
I noticed in jazz as well, when a lot of musicians play the blues in F, and
Yeah,
the I got rhythm changes in B flat, and those are almost like fixed. So in a sense, like you just get it well done in F first before we. And I remember an anecdote with Bud Powell that somebody was complaining he's playing so much in F. So this is so, and he was a fabulous improviser.
yeah,
um, I mean, it is a significant amount of work to take your vocabulary and then just do the same thing in another key and in another key and another key before you get all the keys. Of course, we all work towards that, but
yeah.
I'm very interested in pedagogical efficiency. I think really
Yeah.
what I'm interested in.
Another thing regarding modulation and the need to learn to transpose. One thing that you can learn from the Bolognese tradition, you see that in Mattei, but also in several of Mattei's students, for example, Luigi Palmerini, that they use um, a little versetto, and then they put a secondary dominant at the end towards the parallel key, and then nothing more. So they say, good luck. Now you should play it in minor. And so just remember what you played, and you do it in minor.
Hmm.
And if they have a piece in minor, then they put a secondary dominant to the major parallel, and they say, "Good luck, play it in major." Just do it. Yeah, which means that learning to transpose by ear was something they did not with all 24 keys, but preferably with a parallel key.
Yes.
That's enough. You learn to play by ear.